This evening, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago advancing bilateral cooperation. One of the suspects in the kidnapping and subsequent police pursuit yesterday morning succumbed to injuries. Close to 1,000 youths graduate from Zara Computer Center. In the region, El Salvador extends state of exception as arrests hit 50,000. And internationally, forest fires across Algeria kill at least 41 people. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago are advancing bilateral cooperation in a variety of areas, including energy, food security, and climate change, as the source explains.
Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago are advancing bilateral cooperation on energy, food security, and climate change, among other areas. This follows a series of meetings held in Port of Spain, Trinidad, where President Dr. Irfan Ali is on a state visit. President Ali and his Trinidadian counterparts, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, held a joint press conference on Thursday, where the strengthening of the partnership between the countries were re-emphasized. The Guyanese president said two Caribbean community states share a strong cultural bond, and the intention is to create an advanced institution that see both countries developing strategically, he asserted. Speaking on the energy sector, President Ali underscored tremendous opportunities for both nations. He said there has been a strategic approach to build a solid path towards energy sustainability, resilience, and reliance for the CARICOM region. Additionally, President Ali noted that the countries are also weighing the opportunity to minimize the cost of air transportation. The intense developmental talks followed a signing of Memorandum of Understanding by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd, and his Trinidadian counterpart, Dr. Amory Brown, on May 22nd. It provides for renewed and enhanced cooperation in the areas of trade and investment. It is also expected to address the non-tariff barriers and other impediments to the flow of goods and services while pursuing enhanced cooperation in agriculture and food security, energy, infrastructure, security, tourism, education, sport, and culture. The agreement will also look to enhance the sustainable and resilient development of the two countries and advance the CARICOM single market and economy. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The construction of Silica City in Kurukururu on the Susac-Linden Highway will commence soon. Minister of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, made this disclosure following a visit to the location on Wednesday, August 17. Construction works will see Phase 1 of the city being developed on 3,000-acre plot of land. Meanwhile, the Central Housing and Planning Authority has already begun shortlisting persons to have them pre-qualified for the young professional houses to be built there. While some persons are residing on the land or have farms there through legal leases from the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission, the process of relocating is currently being addressed. The new city will be the first modern smart city. The idea was based on the need for Guyana to have an urban center that is complementary to the existing capital city of Georgetown. The new city aims to tackle the issue of non-coastal urban settlement development and the challenges of climate change and sea level rise. It will be vibrant, sustainable, resilient, and modern city keeping with the low-carbon development strategy. One of the suspects in yesterday's kidnapping and subsequent high-speed police chase died as a result of his injuries. Esther Sobers has more in this report.
One of the bandits involved in a shootout with police on Thursday after hijacking a car, kidnapping the driver, and committing robbery succumbed to his injuries while receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital complex. Andrew Newyear was pronounced dead last evening while being treated for gunshot injuries. During the early hours of Thursday, August 18, 4 men, including Newyear, robbed a taxi driver before stealing his vehicle and throwing him in the trunk. After being tipped off by anti-crime patrols, police ranks responded to a robbery and a carjacking. Newyear and one of his accomplices, Raul Franklin, were shot by police while trying to flee in the stolen car. Meanwhile, Joshua Singh, the car driver, was discovered by ranks locked in the trunk of the car. Joshua Singh told ranks that he was working as a taxi driver with the said car at a taxi base at Vicelos Railway Embankment when 3 of the suspects approached him with a gun and told him to get out of the vehicle. He became afraid for his life and complied as the men ordered him into the car's trunk and locked him there until he was rescued. Ranks also recovered from the motor car PSS 2705 8 cellular phones, one laptop computer, and a female purse. Andrew and Franklin were taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital nursing gunshot wounds, while the two other suspects were arrested. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Stick around after the break. Ministry of Health emphasizes the importance of vaccination in the face of new COVID-19 cases, and close to 1,000 youths graduate from Zara Computer Center.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Cab Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. A surge in new COVID-19 cases and the emergence of newer subvariants of Omicron reinforces the importance of persons getting vaccinated to prevent severe illnesses or death. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, on Thursday during the COVID-19 update, reiterated his calls for persons to get vaccinated as there is a global surge of new cases and newer subvariants of Omicron.
There's also the emergence of newer subvariants of Omicron. So we have to see how those would behave. There's a BA 4.75 that is emerging. And there's another one that was predominantly in India, I think BA 2.75 or something like that. So these are new variants or subvariants that are emerging. We don't know how they would behave. We don't know whether they'll be more transmissible, whether they'll cause more severe disease. These are all new things. Or maybe they just wouldn't become widespread.
Dr. Anthony noted that there is no present data available to determine how new variants and subvariants affect persons. Meanwhile, he added that vaccines remain available for all age categories across the country.
But unfortunately, if we don't have high uptake, we are going to get some of the vaccines expiring. We don't want that to happen, and therefore we are encouraging people to make sure they come and get vaccinated.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Health announced the most recent COVID-19 fatalities were 2 individuals from Region 10. The unvaccinated males, ages 88 and 71, passed away on August 13th and August 16th, respectively. The deaths bring the overall death toll of the pandemic to 1,278. There are 438 persons in home isolation, while 2 patients are in the COVID-19 intensive care unit. Minister Anthony noted that most of the patients hospitalized are unvaccinated and have comorbidities.
One of the reasons that we've been hearing is that people are fatigued. They have been at this for 2 years or more, and they don't want to wear masks. They just want to move around and be free. But there's a consequence to that because we are still in a pandemic.
According to the World Health Organization, there continues to be an increase in new cases of the disease over the past few months. Almost 1,000 Berbice and Essequibo Coast youths have graduated from the Zara Computer Center. Esther Sobers has more details.
As the Guyana Police Force continues its mandate to provide quality learning experiences to members of communities across the country, almost 1,000 youths graduated from Zara Community Center in New Amsterdam, Berbice, and Essequibo Coast. Some of the subjects areas students were exposed to included Microsoft Word, Microsoft Paint, and application to enhance their typing capabilities. On Wednesday, 150 participants graduated from the New Amsterdam Center. The graduation ceremony was held at Berbice High School under the theme Training in Partnership with Valuable Stakeholders to Enhance the Performance of Our Services. Coordinator of the Guyana Police Force Zara Community Center's Assistant Superintendent Gladwin Hanover, in his brief remarks, highlighted that this is the first of what is expected to be many more graduation ceremonies at the New Amsterdam Zara Computer Center. Mr. Hanover mentioned that the youths are graduating at a time in history when our world is dealing with enormous challenges, but also at a time when the opportunities created by those challenges have never been greater. Meanwhile, a record-breaking 801 students graduate from the first batch of courses offered at the Zara Computer Center Essequibo Coast today. The graduation ceremony was held at the Richard Fickle Police College, Study Essequibo. Deputy Commissioner Acting Calvin Brutus and other senior officers are in attendance. This training course has come at a time when the Guyana Police Force aims to continue friendly, cordial, and meaningful engagement with members of the communities to bridge the gap between the public and the force. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Silvers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. China issues first national drought alert as heat wave persists and forest fires across Algeria kill at least 41 people.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables, We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton, and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. El Salvador's government has extended sweeping emergency measures used to crack down on powerful street gangs for another month. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
El Salvador's been living under a state of emergency for almost 5 months to tackle the country's rampant gang violence. This week, it was extended further. 50,000 people have so far been detained. That's just under 2% of the country's labour force. President Nayib Bukele calls them all terrorists. Under the emergency measures, those detainees haven't got the right to a lawyer or to be informed why they've been arrested. Human rights groups say that many are processed in mass hearings in which evidence isn't usually presented. Rina says her husband's among them.
My husband was working and I didn't find out he was detained until 10 p.m.
But a Congress dominated by the ruling party overwhelmingly voted for the measures to continue.
The President of El Salvador and his government will do everything that is required to guarantee that these 50,000 gang members will be captured and the rest will not put a foot inside our communities.
And why not? The state of exception is widely popular among an electorate exhausted and traumatised by decades of predatory gangs. An association of bus companies has said that extortion among its members has dropped by 95%. The president, the architect of the crackdown, regularly tweets that the country is seeing days of zero murders as a result of it. But at what price? Amnesty International says that dozens of people have died in custody. And under past crackdowns, the gangs have simply re-emerged again at the end.
Para combatir estas organizaciones terroristas.
The government bats away those concerns and lambasts its critics. It says it's at war and will win. John Holman, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, an estimated 66 rivers across 34 countries in southwestern region of Xinjiang have dried up, China's state media reports. Part of China are in the grips of a record-breaking heatwave that's lasted more than 2 months, the longest since record began. Al Jazeera's Patrick Falk reports.
It's famed for being one of China's furnace cities, with the longest summers and hottest temperatures. But in the last couple of months, the heat in the southwestern city of Chongqing has been oppressive even by its own standards. Mercury levels have frequently topped 40 degrees Celsius and hit an all-time record high of 45 degrees earlier this week.
Yeah, it's hot as hell. I'm melting.
Many tourists come to Chongqing to marvel at its sights. The Jialing River might be what's most eye-catching now, It's a major tributary that meets the Yangtze further south, and it's dried up so much people can walk halfway across it.
I'm definitely worried. It could affect residents and those that need to use the water.
Forecasters have warned the dry spell could last well into September. Authorities have begun discharging water from the Three Gorges Dam to replenish the Yangtze and its offshoots, but normal flows could still be months away. Here in the city, people are cooling off wherever possible. This library, converted out of an old air raid shelter, has become a popular hangout. A breeze circulates through the funnel-shaped space, making it an ideal hideaway.
When it's especially hot, more people come.
But elsewhere, it's hard to escape the effects of this heatwave and the drought that's come with it. A short drive south of the city is Longjing village. With insufficient irrigation, crops here are dying.
Well, this here shows pretty clearly why crops are struggling. The water for this field behind us has receded about 20 meters away from the crops, and what's been left behind is just this bone-dry layer of mud.
Reports say more than 350,000 people in rural Chongqing are suffering because of a shortage of water supplies. Many of them, like one man we spoke to, are elderly and can't do much to fix the problem.
For irrigation systems, you have to buy pipes and machines. You have to spend the money, and it's not worth it because the stuff is already dried and died. What's the point of watering if it's already dead?
And with many scientists saying hotter days as a result of global warming are here to stay, days here for the people of Longjing could be numbered. Patrick Falk, Al Jazeera, Chongqing, China.
And finally, at least 41 people have been killed in forest fires in Algeria as emergency crews battle a string of fires across the nation. Al Jazeera's Gillian Wolfe has this report.
People here say it's like a tornado of fire that swept away everything within seconds. Those who survived are trying to figure out what happened as they assess the damage.
I don't understand how it happened. It was like a whirlwind. I helped the children run. I couldn't do anything because of what was happening outside. You can see my house. The garage is destroyed. I couldn't save anything. It's God's will. Thank God the children are safe.
Forest fires have become an annual occurrence in Algeria, where climate change is turning large areas into a tinderbox. Most of the deaths this time have occurred in the El Tarf region near the eastern border with Tunisia, where temperatures have reached 48 degrees Celsius. Hundreds of people have had to flee their homes, with many more having suffered from burns or respiratory issues as a result of the smoke. Some are blaming arsonists.
What do you gain when you set a fire and people die? What does the arsonist gain from setting these fires? I hope his heart burns.
Across the country, dozens of fires are still burning, with authorities concerned strong winds and a blistering heat wave could spark new flames that they are ill-equipped to fight. Gillian Wolfe, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 30 weather forecast. That's all for Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in again on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other and do have a wonderful weekend.